Hey there, Wondering Watchers. Welcome to this pick a card reading to explore how you can be living your best life right now. If you're already living your best life, then this reading will kick that awesomeness up a notch so you can direct those positive vibrations to those around you. The day-to-day activities for a life being lived to its full potential is different for each person. What you see on social media doesn't really reflect what it's like to live your best life. If it did, then obviously everyone would be posting pictures of themselves indulging in all-you-can-eat dessert buffets. Or maybe not. This reading does reveal glimpses of what your best life might look like, as well as key factors that affect how aligned you are with your best self. So throughout this reading, keep in mind that the cards provide perspective, and it is your choices and your actions that lead to the ultimate truth of what it's like to live your best life. You have agency over your life, and you make the decisions about how to live it. So throughout this reading, just take whatever messages resonate and leave behind whatever does not. For those of you ready to explore your best life right now, the link to each reading is in the description box below. If you want some more info about the decks and crystals in front of me, then hang out a sec. There are 4 piles of cards paired with a crystal that will lead you to your particular reading for living your best life. Pile number 1, we have Ethereal Visions, Illuminated Tarot deck, and this Amethyst. Pile number 2, we have the Pulp Tarot and Chalcopyrite or Peacock ore. Peacock ore is easier to say. In pile number 3, we have Dream Vision Tarot and Chrysocolla. In pile number 4, we have the Muse Tarot and this Rose Quartz. So you can pick the pile of cards or the corresponding crystal that you feel drawn to the most for your reading. Or you can pick multiple piles if you'd like to explore more perspectives of living your best life. So feel free to pause this video if you need time to review the choices. Once you've made your decision, go to the description box and click on the link for the corresponding deck and crystal pairing. So now it's time to tap into the piles, choose your best life tarot adventure, and let's make magic happen. Welcome back. This is a reading for group number 1, those who picked Ethereal Visions and the Amethyst crystal to explore how you can live your best life right now. So, in terms of those drawn to the Amethyst crystal, I can already tell that you are wanting to live more intuitively. Possibly trying to kind of get in touch with your dreams a little bit more. Maybe you're kind of not sleeping well and really trying to live your best life. And there may be, issues with having enough energy, but really trying to be in touch with your intuition, your body, so that you can kind of figure out how you can get more in line with that, sense of, it's almost like a peace or tranquility. So here, group number 1, let's see where you are right now, your current self. You have the 10 of Swords here. So group number one, it seems that you are, trying to really see the new day ahead. Maybe overthinking things, maybe being stressed, maybe not sleeping well, having your mind race, maybe even having things like, issues with body aches. I'm kind of thinking of like inflammation causing issues with maybe your back and kind of, not feeling refreshed in the mornings. So let's see where you are meant to be. You have the 8 of Cups. So group number one, it seems that you are meant to really look at what you've invested in that you aren't really emotionally fulfilled with. Looking at whatever this 10 of Swords is for you, if it's stress, what's causing that stress, if it's, aches and pains, what you are eating, not eating, doing, not doing, that is, either increasing or not alleviating those aches and pains and inflammation. To some degree, it could be just this 10 of Swords situation could be something where you really know what it is that you need to walk away from and actually taking the action to make that happen. So let's see what you really want. What does your best life look like? If no one's going to judge you, if you can do what you want to do, what does that look like for you, group number one? You have the 7 of Pentacles. So it seems that your best life would really incorporate a sense of doing what you can do, and knowing, hey, I did this much, that's all I can do for now, and just at this point, things will happen the way it happens. It's almost a sense of a natural understanding of what you can control, what you can't control, and what it is that you are seeking out of the things that you actually do to contribute to the greatness of your life. And what I mean by that is, knowing that you looked into something you're interested in, looked at how you can really invest yourself, be productive, and really kind of be all in. And then when it gets to a certain point, knowing that you did your best and not really second guessing yourself, not really needing other people's approval, and kind of understanding that the best parts of your life, of you, are still, developing and blooming, and kind of that there's so much more ahead of you. And when you put in what you put in on, one aspect of something in your life, whether it's a relationship, work, a good meal, nice outfit, whatever it is that you pretty much invested in to kind of, because that's where your heart was driving you, that's where your interests was driving you, knowing that it's time just to sit back, relax, see how things go, and start looking at whatever interests you whenever you feel like it interests you. So let's take a peek at what this kind of situation would look like in the Seven of Pentacles. You have psychic abilities here. So here it's interesting with the amethyst stone here, kind of tapping into that intuition, your third eye, crown area, to kind of get a better sense of how you are kind of feeling, a better sense of, what is good for you, and not really needing to overthink things or struggle, or it's a kind of, again, this, knowing when you've put in enough, knowing when you can just walk away from a situation and just enjoy yourself and see what develops. And then you have this financial health card. So for some of you, group number 1, there is a desire to really invest more in your finances. Maybe there is some type of business venture you're looking at. Maybe you've worked for others, you've given your ideas to others, other people have gotten the credit for things, and you're really looking to find your own way. And what's interesting is each of these cards up here that, this row here is about the self. You can't really see the face of any of the individuals in the tarot cards, except for this person in the psychic abilities, who is looking like directly, like you can't avoid those eyes. So group number 1, to some degree, it seems that this is a call for you to really face what it is that you or are avoiding or ignoring, and really tap into your senses a bit more, and kind of pursue this. It's almost like a sense of abundance that you are almost holding out for, or not necessarily sure of how to find it. But we're going to pull more tarot cards. So here, let's take a look at your past. See if there's something from your past that you've learned that influence how you live your life. You have 7 of Swords. And that is a card of liar, stealer, cheater. So group number 1, something in your past, maybe you learn that, you don't really want to share things with others because, maybe they take your ideas or they take your credit. Perhaps it could be that you have been, burned by people before. So trusting yourself, trusting, your thoughts about things, and maybe even trusting your intuition is something that you are hesitant about. So let's take a look at what shadow aspects actively prevent you from embracing your full potential here, group number 1. You have the 9 of Swords. So here it's a sense of really a lot of stress. Again, this concept of maybe even affecting your sleep. And again, the call, the draw to the amethyst crystal. Maybe dealing with insomnia, nightmares, headaches, things along those lines. So it could be just let's get some more cards. It could be just, not just, making it seem so simple, but with these swords here, how you think about things, how you communicate to yourself, maybe like feeling that there's more to be done, more you could do. You know, more will get you more. So let's take a look at the Nine of Swords here. You have this Invulnerability Jersey Devil card, and you have this Tsuchinoko Lies. So there's a sense of, with this Seven of Swords, liar, stealer, cheater, there may be someone that had really told you things that you hoped were true or knew weren't true. But it's a sense of almost feeling that there's certain people out there in the world that are stronger, that can live their best life. And to some degree, you might think that includes, people who lie, who can keep going. They don't ever have to live the bad life, or they, will take away your joy, and there's no point in actually living your best life, because others will write off of your success, will write off your ideas, will it's almost a sense of the further ahead you get in life, the more that there's opportunities for others to take advantage of you. So let's see what rules or belief currently limit you. You have the Wheel of Fortune. So here it's a sense of maybe karma that you're concerned about, but that idea of achieving more, having more, is a potential to lose more. Like if you're up, then you'll actually, it's like a harder to fall, like the higher that you are, the harder you hit with the fall. And so this Ten of Swords here, it's almost a sense of, if you stay close to the ground, it'll be less of a fall if you don't have high hopes. So here, let's take a look at what it is that you can learn to fully embrace the best version of yourself and to live your best life. Three of Swords. So there's a decent amount of swords over here, group number one. And it seems to be that learning from past disappointments, betrayals, hurts, not only learning from those experiences, but healing from them, not just trying to avoid them. It could be that, you have dealt with a lot of false hopes, maybe provided to you by other people, maybe somehow for yourself. But it seems here that kind of learning that there's always kind of going to be pain in life. in some way, shape, or form. However, suffering, you know, second guessing, you know, coulda, shoulda, woulda, trying to like assign blame, carrying that blame or shame yourself, that is suffering that we can choose to deal with or not. So to some degree, group number one, there seems to be how you talk to yourself, the discussions that you have with yourself and maybe with others have to do with, you know, not really looking at what's there and accepting it, but kind of almost choosing to carry on the story of pain, of upset, of distress. You know, for some of you, if this has to do with actual, you know, medical issues, physical pain, emotional pain that you can't overcome, then definitely seeking help from a qualified medical professional, mental health professional is, you know, in the cards, I would say. So let's take a look at what strengths that you have will help you embrace your best life and your best self. 5 of Cups. Okay. So this it's not obviously a strength, but with a 5 of Cups here, it seems that there is a lot of sorrow and loss that has not been looked at. You can see here the person in the 9 of Swords isn't showing their face. The person in the 5 of Cups isn't showing their face. The person in the 7 of Swords is showing their face. Even in the Wheel of Fortune, they're not. So it's a sense that your strength is that once you go down this road of looking at the paths, disappointments, upsets, the things that you were expecting that didn't come to fruition, and accepting your role in those and accepting how you may have been misled, misinformed, accepting all those things, recognizing it, and kind of forgiving yourself, allowing, you know, shame, guilt, grief, sadness to kind of really come to the surface, there will be a lot more of a release once that happens. So let's take a look on advice going forward for you, group number one. You have 3 of Wands here. So for many of you, there is, again, this person is, you don't see their face. So to some degree, what you need to face is how maybe you have not really been in touch with your body, or kind of things that you're feeling, things that you're sensing, maybe you've gotten so accustomed to them that you just accept it. And also facing the fact that there are certain things that we don't even want to acknowledge ourselves, but not acknowledging those things really prevents us from, you know, learning the lessons from them and then moving on to actually plan a better future for us and creating a better future. So here, let's see what this kind of building your future looks like. You have this card of awakening. So it may feel that you aren't getting restful sleep, that you are not sleeping well at night, maybe feeling discomfort and drained during your days. But here it requires kind of like a trust that you are gonna have this moment of like this aha moment of that's your truth. That is who you are. It's like recognizing your authentic self. So that's one aspect of, you know, what this future looks like for you. And maybe it's awakening your, you know, your psychic abilities, your third eye, your intuition a bit more. You have here contemplation. So to some degree, there is a need for you, group number one, to really think about what it is that your question is. Maybe you didn't come here with a question. You're just like, tell me how to live my best life, or how I can just, you know, feel alive, energized. But if you aren't feeling those things, then this card kind of asks you to really think about a question that you could ask yourself, the universe, that would really kind of give you the kind of reveal the path that you need to go in the answer. It's almost like if you come up with the right question to ask about your situation, it almost inevitably reveals the answer. So let's see what else we have here for you, group number one. Hydrangea, gratitude, peace. I think at the beginning of this reading, I was talking about a sense of peace and tranquility. So here with this hydrangea, there's different types of hydrangea, different colors. And the different colors reflect like different concepts, different points of view even. Like back in the day, I guess if you gave someone white hydrangeas, it was usually for someone who was, you know, someone who was spurned by a lover and giving their ex-lover white hydrangeas to indicate a sense of not really infertility to some degree, because I guess hydrangeas are not, they don't produce a lot of seeds, but also just a sense of, you know, a lack, a sense of lack of color, lack of passion, anything like that. So here you have these purple, like the amethyst stone, these purple hydrangeas here. Gratitude and peace. It's a sense of you being able to have that in your life. Is you actually living your best life, at least in terms of what you have going on in your life right now? So group number one, I'm hoping that this provides a helpful perspective of how you can live your best life right now. Welcome back. This is a reading for group number two, those who picked the Pulp Tarot and the Chalcopyrite Peacock ore to explore how you can live your best life right now. So let's do a little more shuffling and find out what that means for you, group number 2. So let's find out who you are now. What's your current situation in terms of how you're living your life? You have the Devil. Okay, so there is some type of something that you are tempted by. This could be illusions, it could be sense of power, with this, being drawn to this peacock, or there is a sense of joy and happiness that you are looking for in life. So it may be that some of you, group number 2, are living your life in a way where you are trying to have that joy, have that happiness in a way that may be like instant gratification, instant satisfaction, instant relief, possibly certain habits that lead you to pursue that happiness and joy immediately, but maybe isn't sustainable for the long term. So let's see who you are meant to be in terms of in terms of, you're the Devil here, but who are you meant to be? You're meant to be the Emperor. So group number 2, you are meant to have that authority, but that we tend to give our temptations. We give them that power. You are meant to have that power. You are meant to have a sense of control and authority over your life, your environment, and not for just yourself. To have power and rule over other people's lives, but in a way that is sustainable and looks at the long term, not necessarily instant gratification. So to some degree, it may be that some of you, group number 2, you are using control and power in a way that isn't very emperor-like, maybe making rash decisions, maybe going overboard with your authority, or just using it whenever you feel like it for an ego boost now and then. But here it's a sense that more self-control is really, it's not limiting, it's making, it's like having structure on how to maximize the power and authority that you have over yourself and others. So let's see what your best life would look like if no one would judge you. You have this Justice card. So it would definitely be more doing what's right, doing what's fair, being in a balanced situation, understanding that what you put into something is what you get out of something, and really living in a way of, it's almost like even though the Justice card is more of the weighing the scales, I feel it as more of wanting a flow to wielding your authority and wielding your confidence. So let's get some further idea of what this best life entails. We have friendships, and passion. So here it's a sense of keeping people close, having fun, pursuing your desires, but doing it in a way where there's not a sense of control over other people, not needing to give up control to other people, a sense of doing what is right for you, regardless of what other people think or say, but doing it in a way where you are feeling passionate about your life and really inspired, but with this sense of kind of like understanding boundaries and having a sense of control over, your long-term future. And that might include saying no when others are saying yes. And that doesn't indicate a lack of passion just because, the group is doing certain things and you're not. It's recognizing that you want to live your best life for as long as you can. And certain things, they might really, fuel the passions and, have that joy and happiness really spinning through the roof. But the long-term effects of it aren't really, they're not sustainable. And I'll just say, like if this involves using substances, it may be that, doing some type of drug, alcohol, certain quantities of it, it can lead to people having the best times of their lives, but then there's the hangover. Then there's like feeling icky. Then there's like the foggy mind. Then there's certain regrets. There's a lot of things, but living your best life is about living in the now, but also recognizing there's certain things that maybe they'll feel good, but really it's momentarily, it's instantaneous, it's not sustainable. And so kind of figuring out that, pursuing your joy, pursuing your connections, pursuing your power and ability to live your best life, but also recognizing that the right now, the, doing as much as you can, as hard as you can, for as long as you can, that's not necessarily achieving the best life that you are looking for, and it's not necessarily sustaining the ties and the happiness and the joy that you might be looking for. So let's see what aspects of your past most influence you, maybe even unaware of it. You have this Wheel of Fortune, and my kitty cat Sammy wants to let me know that he needs attention. What else? Oh, okay. He needs more than attention. All right, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So here, the Wheel of Fortune in this position indicates that your past has let you know that the good things will pretty much come to an end and things won't be so good. So it's almost a sense of kind of living your life to the fullest extent. However, with the devil being in this position, this current position, it seems that there might be a lack of recognition, understanding, or I guess grasp on the idea of even though things change and the wheel is constantly turning, and there's this concept of karma, and almost, this idea of justice is what you put out there, it comes back to you. So if you are doing things that are, for the quick fix right now, then the release, the satisfaction, the joy, the happiness is going to be a quick right now experience as well. So here, let's get back into these cards. Where did my deck go? Oh, there it's right here. Okay. Well, these wanted to come out. So let's take a look at what they say. This is the shadow aspects right here. So the shadow aspects going on, you have the Three of Cups, concept of friendship, Three of Pentacles. This is about, working with others, and this Judgment card. So here, in terms of certain maybe insecurities you have, maybe fear of missing out, wanting to maybe impress people, wanting to be, recognized in a certain way, and feeling, maybe even trying to recreate something from your past, or make things right from your past. So let's get a couple more cards, because, 3 for the shadow aspect isn't enough. So let's see how this shadow aspect might play out. You have this Tsuchinoko Lies card, and you have this Will-o'-the-Wisp Guidance card. So it kind of indicates a sense of maybe in your past, you had friends that told you things that maybe weren't exactly true, to get you to do things, to get you to go along and follow along. And maybe because this is your shadow aspect, you kind of do the same to others, or you tell others a little bit of, kind of white lies, or somehow manipulate a situation to get others to follow along with what it is that you want to do. So no judgment here, group number 2. This is what kind of the cards are popping up. So let's take a look at what rules or beliefs kind of currently limit your potential. You have this King of Cups. So group number 2, it seems that there is this concept of really needing to live your life right now and live it up in a certain way. And that will somehow attract someone into your life that will, have almost like a soothingness. You won't want to be so erratic is the word I'm thinking of it. That you won't want to really push people's buttons or push boundaries once you meet this certain individual, or that this is the focus is being out there and having fun, so that you can meet this certain individual. So let's see what lesson you need to learn to fully embrace the best version of yourself and your best life. Right? So group number 2, you have the Nine of Swords. So to some degree, this lesson you need to learn is that there are things outside of your control. How you think about something really can make or break you, your feelings, your emotions. A sense of there's certain things not really worth winning at all costs, or it's not worth instant victory, instant gratification, because your conscience is gonna kind of it's gonna pop up the truth at some point. And it's usually when things are quiet and you maybe lay your head down thinking you're going to have a peaceful night's sleep. Maybe instead there's some strange dream that you have. But basically, the things that you do that you're not, that aren't for your best and highest good, and that's something that you're aware of, and intentionally you do those things anyway, at some point in time, as the wheel turns, it's going to come up as a reminder, and it might not be as happy and joyful as the initial experience. So let's see what strength of yours will help you embrace your best self and living your best life. We have 10 of Cups. So you tend to have a strength in understanding a different range of emotions. You might even have a great support system, great friends, great family structure that really aren't concerned about you being the best or the most fun or the most exciting, and really just enjoy spending time with you. 10 of Cups isn't about being happy 24/7, just like living your best life isn't about being happy 24/7. It really is about experiencing the different emotions that life kind of brings up, and having learned from those experiences that created those emotions, having the support of those that are around you when those emotions cause a struggle, and having those around you to celebrate when those emotions bring, elation. So let's take a look here at what advice there is for you to live your best life as your best self. You have Queen of Pentacles here. So with Queen of Pentacles, there's a sense of connecting to your body, connecting to your senses, connecting to your environment, having compassion, and recognizing that, even though you can't really control everything around you, you can manage your resources. You can manage your time. You can manage your attention span. You can manage your focus and really maximize what you can maximize in terms of joy and happiness and fun, while keeping in mind the long-term kind of benefits, long-term consequences, and how it affects everyone around you. And the core of it is really kind of making yourself a priority, making how you feel inside and out a priority. And that includes self-care, self-love, being healthy. You have here this soul name. So here, it's a sense that you are really ready to, you are protected, whether it's your friends and your family and support system, your sense of, it's as if you do know your own truth and you're ready to actually embrace that, and unlock, the mystery of your soul, and kind of have a more close connection with, your inner light. You have a heart of the moment. So basically, it's as if you have this understanding that things it's like you need to do things now. But this card asks you to choose from your heart now. Whenever there's a doubt, whenever there is a concern, whenever there is a question, something in the back of your mind that either feels good or doesn't feel good, the question is, like, what is it that your heart truly wants and would truly, benefit from? And then you have this toadstool, self-discovery, awakening. So here, it's interesting that you have this toadstool. This is, mushrooms are used for kind of recreational drug use, psychedelics that kind of push the bounds of reality. But here with this self-discovery, this awakening here, it's almost to recognize what it is that, this devil tendency actually pulls you away from in terms of the environment that surrounds you here. And so to some degree, group number 2, you living your best life is really recognizing what, when you seek that, control over your surroundings, that instant joy, that instant relief, what is it that you are kind of denying your heart, denying your experience in your day-to-day environment? So that's what I have for you, group number 2. I'm hoping that this provides a helpful perspective on how you can start living your best life right now. And we'll see you next time. Take care. Welcome back. This is the reading for group number 3, those who picked Dream Vision Tarot and this Chrysocolla. So for those of you who were drawn in particular to this stone here, you likely are someone who needs to speak your truth. Someone who is not looking for superficial anymore. Someone who is kind of wanting beauty in their life, and not just superficial beauty, but wants a sense of truth, wants a sense of honesty, but not in truth of facts, but honest living, things that are pure. You may be in a place where you are really able to be the bigger person, to see things from a higher perspective, and maybe even more open than most to exploring spirituality, your connection to things that are, greater than yourself. So here, we're going to see who you are at this moment, group number 3. You have the 8 of Cups. Basically, someone willing to walk away from things that aren't serving your best and highest good. Being more aware of aligning your emotions with your actions, and kind of being someone who, not just a talker, but someone who's willing to, walk the talk. So let's see who you're meant to be in terms of not having baggage, just being the best you can be in life. You have the 9 of Pentacles. So definitely being this person who is enjoying the good life, enjoying the things that you've worked for, connecting with nature, connecting with the things that you care about, spending your time in your truth, not compromising your own beliefs. So let's take a look at what you really want to do. If no one would judge you, what would your best life look like? You have the 9 of Cups. So again, this concept of really truly living your best life, and you right now being at the 8 of Cups, and either having already walked away from things that don't serve you, or willing to walk away from things that don't serve you. You're really putting yourself in this position of making your dreams come true, to really fulfill whatever it is that you want. So let's see what that might look like. You have empowerment, and you have prosperity. So group number 3, you really are, however you are living your life right now is setting you for truly connecting to your inner strength, to connect to people around you so that they can kind of feel the strength that you radiate and the confidence that you radiate, and allowing prosperity to, come into your life. You are creating that space for prosperity, and those who choose to, honor your sense of truth, how you want to be in life, and respecting that. So let's take a look at some lessons from your past that you may have learned that influenced you the most. You have this King of Cups. This may be a parent figure, maybe a grandparent, someone who really was emotionally connected to those they cared about, supportive of the people that they cared about, willing to be a shoulder to cry on, and be in a position where they were able to take on a lot of other people's baggage, and either didn't let it affect them, or didn't want others to see it affect them. So let's take a look at what shadow aspects that you might have that could actively prevent you from embracing your full potential. You have this 3 of Pentacles here. So to some degree, there is, the 9 of Cups and the 9 of Pentacles, and even in the 8 of Cups, those shows individuals. In the Nine of Pentacles, there might be a bird or falcon or snail on the ground of some sort. But ultimately, those people are on their own in these cards. With the Three of Pentacles, there is a sense of needing to collaborate with others, or maybe even a tendency to be on your own and pull away from situations that deal with others. You know, could be because of COVID, could be because of really working on you right now, as opposed to trying to make other people happy or follow other people's rules. But it may be that there are some fears or anxieties that reside in the Three of Pentacles. So let's take a look at what kind of shadow aspects this shows. There's this card of duality. So it's interesting because this Kadeho, kind of like these two dogs here that tend to, guess, one is good, one is bad, one kind of leads people into trouble. And it's usually people who are alcoholics or drunks that kind of report these types of things. So because of the different cups that you have, because of this, even this King of Cups, who may secretly have to handle their emotions in a way that maybe included alcohol, maybe it didn't, but there is that that tendency to kind of lose yourself when you're with other people, or at least lose this version of yourself. And you have this Will-O-the-Wisp, this guidance card here. So it may be that, you know, there is a tendency in losing yourself because of, you know, going along with the group, kind of forgetting what it is to be more aligned with your inner light than it is with the desires of other people. So group number 3, let's take a look at, you know, what kind of rules or belief limit your potential at this present moment. You have the Two of Wands here. So here it is about perspective. Two of Wands is kind of, you know, planning to get outside of your comfort zone, maybe gearing up for it, but maybe having some hesitations about it. Perhaps, you know, this duality coming up. But this Two of Wands is really interesting because, to me, you can't really tell if that round globe is able to fit through that that passageway, or if it's going to get stuck, or if it can slide through with extra room, if it's coming, if it's going. So it's really about certain perspectives. Maybe all it is you are just this perspective of being in that best life, being in that position of empowerment and prosperity right now, as opposed to something to really anoint you or allow you, or some status to actually designate this kind of glow up in your life, but more just needing to believe it is occurring right now yourself. So let's take a look at what lessons you can learn to fully embrace the best version of yourself and your best life. you have another 9. It's the 9 of Wands. So to some degree, there is a theme of doing things on your own, but also almost being at that end point, almost being at that top, like the peak. So it's similar to what I was saying here about just about perspective and thinking you're almost there versus you are living that great life now. So to some degree, embracing the best version of yourself is just, accepting it, that it is right now. And another perspective of this lesson is more about being more aware of the environment, your surroundings, so that you are fully aware that you are the best version of yourself, that you are a powerful person that can set intentions and manifest, what it is that you want. Being aware of your environment, being aware of how much you need to prepare for something or just allow yourself to relax. That's something that learning that lesson will help you fully embrace your best life. So let's take a look at the strengths that you have that will help you embrace your best life. You have Queen of Pentacles. You are really connected to those around you. You are compassionate. You are resourceful, someone who is managing your time well, managing your focus, your energy, possibly even being more aware of what you're putting into your body, and understanding, the type of energy that you'll need, or it's making me think of, like, if you're out and it's still light outside, but you're tired, you're gonna go home, have a hot cup of, chamomile tea, honey water, and, just do your thing to really kind of take care of yourself without any concerns of appearances, how it might appear to others. So let's get a card about advice on living your best life as your best self. You have the Ace of Cups. So group number 3, this is a really awesome reading so far. Basically, you are going to be having a lot of opportunities to connect with yourself, to connect with others, to connect with spirit. If you're wanting to really honor something greater than yourself and your connection to that, then it's really, it's there for you. It's definitely there for you, group number 3. So we're going to keep going with this and see what else we have here. You have this card of remembrance. So this is, this card kind of indicates that how you recall certain events, if they cause discomfort in any way, it's more of it's more of things that are just not jiving. Jiving's not the right word. It's as if the way that you are remembering something or tell a story is holding on to those sharp edges. And allowing yourself to kind of recognize the sharp edges, but see how those sharp edges kind of have a silver lining and really connect to certain other aspects of yourself and kind of soften up, so that it's not necessarily like recreating your history, but having more agency over your life, and agency over I guess the journey, where you are in the journey, and the strengths that you have gained, and how the weaknesses or perceived weaknesses really highlighted certain strengths for you. You also have this card of intimacy here. So there's a sense of you really being in a position to be more vulnerable. I know that we've kind of talked up this aspect of power and, being your best self. Being vulnerable is not necessarily not being your best self. It's allowing yourself to be, I guess, more open to possibilities, even though you want to focus on, the positive aspects, being in a good place. There's also moments where we reveal ourselves to others, and we don't feel so confident or strong. So that's something for you to explore, because when you open yourself up to this vulnerability, this intimacy, then this Ace of Cups is even more fulfilling for you. And we'll pull this last oracle card here for you, group number 3. You have Rose, love, sensuality. This is just, saying to live your life focusing on love, allowing it to come to you, embracing it, and really kind of weaving it through everything that you say and do, which it seems like you already are doing. So I'm hoping this provides a helpful perspective of living your best life, and we'll see you next time. Take care. Welcome back. This is a reading for group number 4, those who picked the Muse Tarot and this Rose Quartz. So, group number 4, if you were drawn to this pile because of this Rose Quartz, then there is a sense of you really wanting to connect to love, to come from a place of love, to find love in your life, whether it's romantic, platonic, just really being at a place of peace and happiness, and really wanting like harmony for not just yourself, just, those around you, and pretty much everyone. So group number 4, let's see who you are at this current moment. What type of life are you living? You have this Page of Inspiration, which is like Page of Wands. So you are really coming from a place of exploring who you are, and really finding the joy in almost everything. Any idea you can make fun, any kind of experience you can really add some flavor to it. Perhaps you're someone who is really artistic and creative, and someone who wants everyone to be involved in that excitement that you have about life. So let's see who you're meant to be. There was no limitations. You have the 9 of materials or the 9 of pentacles. So you are meant to really enjoy your life. You are meant to kind of smell the roses and kind of take time for yourself, maybe even connect with nature some more, perhaps have a garden. But the sense of recognizing your self-worth, that's something that your higher self really is meant to do. So let's see what your best life looks like, what you could do if no one were to judge you. You have 6 of emotions. So for some of you, group number 4, there may be something from your childhood, something that you always wanted to do when you were younger, maybe didn't think it was practical. Or there's a sense of maybe just wanting to really help others. And this concept, again, of harmony, having peace and harmony, perhaps working at a charitable organization or some type of philanthropy. I know this is not the 6 of materials or the 6 of pentacles. That indicates more like charity, but here this is like emotionally you emotionally want to support those that that need support. Maybe helping those with disabilities or helping the elderly, something along those lines, where you really want to emotionally give everyone their best life almost. So let's take a look at what that could look like for you. You have this card of beauty, definitely recognizing the beauty within you, the beauty that is around you, and the beauty of others. And here you have this card of answers. So it's a sense of really not needing to seek anything, because anything that you'd seek out, you already have that within you. You already, know whatever it is that you'd have a question about. So let's take a look at your past, group number 4. What lessons have you learned that might influence you the most without you really knowing it? You have this 9 of emotions. So, this is a good lesson that you may have learned, where it's a sense of feeling good about yourself, recognizing that if your cup is full, then you can fill other people's cups as well. And really almost a sense of you can accomplish anything. So this popped out, and this is a card that I was going to look for, a shadow self. Certain things that prevent you from embracing your full potential. But here you have the Muse materials, which is the equivalent of the King of Pentacles. So in terms of this shadow aspect, it may be that there are some tendencies to focus on certain material aspects. Here with the 9 of materials, it does seem that you are in a position where you can pamper yourself a bit. But in terms of, insecurities or fears, anxieties, King of Pentacles or the Muse of materials may find themselves in certain routines and unwilling to go outside of their comfort zone. But here you're currently living this Page of Wands or Page of Inspirations. So to some degree, it's almost as if you know how to work hard, you know how to feel good about yourself, you know how to share that positivity with others and help, create balance and harmony around you. So to some degree, the insecurities of someone who has accumulated financial wealth and protection of others, it may be that there are certain beliefs that you have that others, you want them to adhere to in order to be in your life. And that's my kitty cat here who needs things. Come here, my boy. Hi. Hi. You can come right here. That's my boy. Thank you. So let's take a look at, what this shadow aspect kind of looks like. Solitude, this Bigfoot solitude. So a concern of being on your own, kind of being a force that no one else can really understand or communicate with. And to some degree, just, maybe even liking that time alone. With the 9 of emotion, 9 of materials. 9s have to do with, at least for these cards, they're traditionally, they're individuals on their own. And there is a sense of maybe pulling away from others and being on your own. But here, well, maybe that's why this is your best life, in helping others and actually connecting with others a bit more. So let's see what else we have here in the shadow aspect. You have this Brute Slaying Cruelty card. So here, group number 4, this Brute Slaying is this concept of, the gods wanted to create this creature that's like half snake and half elephant, and they kind of got rid of these Brute Slayings, but they live in, deep in the caves, and really they are they're cruel individuals, and the way that you appease them is to give them like wealth, because they're greedy individuals. So to some degree, there's this concept for the King of Pentacles or the Muse, the materials. Perhaps there's a sense of wanting things in the material world because you say so. But here it looks like that shadow aspect might not have much of an impact. So let's see what kind of rules or beliefs currently limit your potential. Group number 4. You have Queen of Emotions. So whatever rules that you have about connecting on an emotional level with others, self-care, self-love. If I would say the Queen of Emotions or Queen of Cups, they are all about emotions. They're double emotions. Queens are associated with the element of water, and so are cups. So, to some degree, there is more to life than just emotions, and it seems like you are very much aware of that. But whatever rules you have for letting people in, for caring about them, for connecting to them, that's something for you to kind of look to see if you, in that, push people away, make it so that you're harder to connect to. So let's take a look at the lessons that you can learn to fully embrace the best version of yourself and your best life. You have the Two of Materials, or Two of Pentacles. So a sense of really balancing wants and needs, have time for play and have time for responsibilities, and kind of allow yourself to flow more, and not necessarily have certain rules that are, whatever rules that are associated with this Queen of Emotion, how you connect with others. So let's see what strengths that you have that can help you embrace your best self and your best life. You have 10 of Emotions here. So it seems like you do really have the ability to connect with people and inspire them, to move them, to dance with them. And so here, 10 of Emotions or 10 of Cups, it's not necessarily about being happy all the time. It's about being able to experience a range of emotions and share those experiences, the good, the not so good, with those that you care about. So let's take a look at advice for living your best life as your best self. You have the Page of Emotions. So here it's kind of looking at the world with a sense of wonder, of being able to envision, endless possibilities. And here you already live in this Page of Inspiration. So you have these desires. You have this sense of creativity, maybe even, not wanting to set certain rules for how you express yourself or how you explore something you're curious about. And here it's a sense of, continuing that, that journey and really living from your heart. So let's get some more cards on your best life. You have this You Are the Universe card. So group number 4, you have this connection to your environment, and it may be that you don't fully recognize how much influence you have if you shift your perspective just a little bit and recognize that there is really not this force outside of you that has all the answers, that's all knowing. It's all being curious and asking questions, and knowing that, here, you have the answers within you. So kind of seeing that there's not like a separation from you, and the thing that is really greater than yourself. You in some way are connected to that, and choosing to feel good, choosing to look at the positive, choosing to connect with others in a positive way. It really is makes you your own authority on, granting yourself whatever permission you want to live the life that you want. So let's see what else we have for you, group number 4. You have this Rings of Time. So this is about, really certain beliefs having a limiting effect on our lives. And things are always changing. So being in the present moment is really the best way to really accomplish whatever it is that you desire. So definitely, recognize everything is connected, recognizing that being here right now as opposed to worrying about the past or worrying about the future will really allow you to tune in on your connection to your environment and what it is that you want to fill your cup with, fill others' cups with. And then you have this Star Jasmine, spiritual gifts, abundance. So group number 4, your best life, you're pursuing that, is really not only having a life of abundance for yourself, but really emotionally connecting to others around you and helping them feel that for themselves as well. It's a sense, the Star Jasmine, it's like a gift from spirit, a gift from God. So in a sense, seeing you are that gift and recognizing that you are living the life that you want. You don't need permission from anyone. Being in the moment and really, sharing that sense of connection and that sense of love, gratitude, smelling the roses, smelling the jasmine, that is really you living your best life right now. So I'm hoping that this provides a helpful perspective for you, group number 4, and we'll see you next time. Take care.